one of our students, Trisha Condo, who is in a really interesting indigenous spirituality space. So if you're one of these people, a psychic, a healer, and you're like, Katya, I'm not sure this is gonna work for me, I strongly encourage you to watch this. So welcome, Trisha. Please tell everyone a little bit about you, your background, where you come from, what you do, all that jazz.
Hi, Katya. Thank you so much. So my background, I am Micmac, so I'm an indigenous seer and healer. So technically I'm a psychic, so I can see things. And so what I do is I give soul readings. Excuse me, my dog is snoring, so just ignore him. I give soul readings and I also mentor. So I'm a former elementary school teacher, and I did that for like 12 years. And then I was in education administration. I know a lot of people are pretty impressed when I say that. And yeah, so I live in a small community. It's called Guescabequiac. It's in Quebec, Canada. So that is pretty much me.
Amazing. And what does your business do and who do you serve the most?
My business. So who do I serve? My business is all about really empowering and really helping spiritual women who really are interested in learning. Sorry, my
I
dog is
can't
snoring.
I can't hear anything, so don't worry about it. But it probably distracts you.
It does a little bit, so I'm just going to ignore him. So yeah, I really empower and really help a lot of Indigenous women and people who are interested in Indigenous spirituality. So a lot of women come to me, they're interested in expanding their spiritual practice. And so I've noticed that over the years. And so I have a unique perspective, if you want to call it, and a unique way of um, healing people because I've healed myself. I've really strayed away from this. You know, it's my dog. I really strayed away from my gifts because I followed the traditional route. Right, I went to school and I did all the things, and so yeah, that's pretty much me. And what I do now is I help people, especially women. So it's basically, my niche is Indigenous intuition and healing, but it's basically spirituality. Is I really help them get to know who they are because I lost myself along the way. And I'm a recovering alcoholic, so it's been 16 years. I've been sober.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. And some days it's, you want to run for the chocolate, but I'd rather run for the chocolate than something else. But yeah, I've been through a lot. I've been through a lot. And that helps. My background helps because I've been through so much crap. And so, yeah. What was your other question? Because I'm getting kind of.
No, that was it. That was it. I just wanted to know a little bit about more about you, what you do, and we're going to talk about in a second. We're going to talk about your psychic activation bundle that you created from VBS. I'll include the link for everybody if you're watching this now and you want to check it out while you're watching this. Just click the link in the description. Question for you: how did you find out about VBS? And
Yeah. So my journey. Let's talk about the journey to you. So I found out through a Facebook ad, and it was viral. I'm going to say temple. That's interesting. I'm saying viral templates Facebook ad, and I had seen people liking your ad, and I've seen you everywhere. Clubhouse, I've seen you everywhere, and then I was like, Then I signed up for the club, and I really liked your personality. I'm very much a practical person. It's hard to believe, but I am. And there I found you in a Facebook Live, and I'm like, I kept watching you. You interacted with me a lot. You probably don't remember, but we were talking, and you're very matter of fact. You're very practical, and you know the systems. And I said, that's how I found out about you. And I like people who are very practical and know the steps and have been through. your story really captivated me, where you went from, not knowing anything to building your business. That's what really attracted me to you.
Oh, I
Yeah,
should share more of that then, huh?
yeah, you should.
So did you have any reservations before thinking about joining VBS, or any concerns, or did you just jump right in?
I seen it the first time, and I really was busy at the time. I was promoting a lot of my other high-end offers. And then I seen you the second time, and I'm like, I'm jumping in. I'm jumping in. Did I hesitate? No. The first time it was because I was a little busy, but I said, I'm not going to miss it the second time because I don't know if her prices are going to go through, because you are very valuable and you're very articulate. You're very bold. Like, you're very bold. I like that. You're
Oh,
different.
thank you.
Different attracts me. So,
Thank you so much.
yeah.
So do you want to tell everyone a little bit about what was your business model just before VBS? What kind of offers and services were you selling at what price points? Because I know this was your very first passive income product. So what were you selling before then?
So what I was selling before is my business model really involved high ticket masterminds. And they were, upwards to 4,500 for 3 months. And that's all I was promoting.
Hmm.
And my soul readings were they were kind of lower. They were between 65 to 100. And so who I was focusing on was mostly beginners to middle to advanced. So
Hmm.
that was my model before. And I did a lot through Facebook ads. And so that's pretty much what I was doing before.
Amazing. And when you joined VBS, what was the main goal or the main vision that you were really hoping for, that you wanted to get out of it?
So the main vision is learning to have a low end offer, passive income, because I didn't have a clue how to do it. And I wanted something really accessible to my community. And they were asking me time and time again, can you make something more affordable? And they kept saying, and I said, I don't have a clue how to do that. Like, I don't know how to do that. Like, I have no idea. Like, do I do this? And I kind of tried it before, but it didn't, like, I didn't know anything. It was just like, like I was pretty much, I felt really like lost and I was scattered and I'm like, I have no idea how to do this. Like, oh.
It's like selling products is a whole different ball game versus selling experiences and services, right? Because you
Yeah,
have to think about it different. So you got into VBS and you're
yeah,
like, right, I'm doing something I've never done before.
yeah.
Walk me through that first couple weeks as you were going through it and coming up with the idea. What was going through your mind? How did you come up with it? Just walk me through your experience with it all.
Sure. So when I first walked in, I learned a lot about the process of a low end offer. I learned about promotion. I learned about branding too, and I had to change some of my colors. There's a lot of asking. Like, I've never done that before. I usually just set up my, yeah, that seems really weird. Usually I set up my offer and then I just promote the crap out of it. But this is a little bit different. I was asking because I was learning to listen. And that was my process. And I came up with my idea, which was originally was Unleash Your Gifts. It was modeled after my mastermind, which did very well. And then after learning about the process in VBS, is I had to learn about community feedback and asking, putting up polls and stories and learning how to copyright and how to position myself. And I was just like, have I been doing this wrong? So I was just like, I felt kind of like, okay. So it was a different way of doing a different kind of model. And I created a psychic activation. I asked your team, and I asked you, and then I asked my people in the community that were following me. Like, I assumed a lot too. I assumed that this was the idea, and they're like, they didn't bite. I was like, oh, okay. So it was just like fishing. Oh, I didn't get a fish back. But when I did the psychic activation idea, ooh, they were biting. It was like bringing in the salmon, and they were strong. So it was just like, yeah, that was the process.
So you were kind of like, oh, I've never done this asking questions before to figure out what they want. Because I assume you were just one of these intuitive people that just naturally feels like this is what I feel called to create. So this is what I create. And here you were like, actually, I'm not that you're ignoring what you want to
Yeah.
create, but you are taking into account other people's desires and opinions about what you should create.
Yeah.
And that was a new experience for you. Looking back, now that you've done it this way, do you find it easier now to do it by actually collecting feedback? Would you change how you do things in the future?
Oh, that really changed everything. Because normally, working with women who, like you, they cost a lot of money. And for you, it was just very easy. You're very approachable. You know your shit, Katya. And it it it's reflected in your process in your system. And it was just like, oh, it's very systematic, very detailed. So I was just like, wow, okay, I'm gonna follow this. And I was just like asking my people what they want. Yes, I am intuitive. I think I ignored that. I think I ignored that part a lot because I wasn't sure how to navigate that, how to navigate the low end offer. And I'm like, yeah, I also need to be grounded and practical marketing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, marketing. I mean, anyone can make a an argument that marketing could also be like a spiritual experience too. But
Yeah.
for me, marketing has always been know your audience, know their problems, ask them what they want and how they want to solve their problems, and then give it to them. Like to me, that's always been very it's always been my approach. So
Yeah.
you came up with the psychic activation bundle and you went and asked your audience for opinion. Tell me about the launch process because I know you did a pre-sale. You decided to
Yeah.
pre-sell it before you created it. Talk to me about that pre-sale launch. What was your strategy? How are you promoting? Just give me as much details as you remember.
Yeah. So the first thing I did was like I asked I asked my people what do you want? And I was thought it was pretty intuitive at the point, but I was just like, okay, this is different. I'm gonna try it. So it confirmed what everybody was telling me inside because they had experience with marketing in your system too. And I pre-sold. I was really shocked. I was like, is it that easy? I mean, I was looking for some like, haha, we all changed our minds, figured we want something else. It was just like, I was just blown away. I pre-sold, and I'll get my numbers here. Give me a second. So I pre-sold to at least 100 people in 1 month. And the first 2 weeks, first week, it was just like cuckoo. It was like, I did polls and they're like, yes, 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 yes. I can't believe it's at this low price. And it was just like, they were just going bananas. So my offer, psychic activation bundle, I had 103 people sign up and a total of 3,069. So that's American. So it's like 4,700. And my bump was the monetize your psychic gifts bundle. I had about 28 people. The psychic activators was 103 people. Yeah. And my strategy was pretty much following your system. And that's what I was doing. I was following the scripts. I was pre-selling on social media. Since I was really good, I have a huge following. And then you were like, just sell it on social media organically. And I was like,
How
organically?
often were you posting?
3 times a day. 3 times a day. 3 times a day. And I was talking about my channeling. I was talking about, yeah, go with it. You sure? Someone's asking in the community is like, are you sure? Yeah, like I want to know that. You want to know what I was doing throughout the day? Like people were intrigued. They want to know what I was doing throughout the day, and and they were seeing all of the numbers. Like I used a dream catcher to show the names who were all signing up, and people are like, yeah, messaging me and like emailing me, like I want to be a part of this. So I was following the scripts, and it was just selling, just selling. Boom, boom. I wake up in the morning, 10 people sign up. Next morning, 20 people. Next, it was like 30 people. It's like, this is nuts. This is nuts. And I was just like, wow. I'm like, I had sales when I was going for a walk. And it was just like, wow. Facebook Lives, following your scripts. I did a lot of that. And yeah, posting 3 times a day on Instagram. And it was just like, yeah. People were like, who is this girl? Messaging me and friending me. And it was just like, yeah. And
Did you have, of those 100 people, if you remember, did you have any people that you were like, I have no idea who this is, but
yes,
you did?
I did. I did. It was just like, who are you?
Yeah.
You're interested in my work. And it was very fun to see. I was excited. Yeah.
Oh, I always
Oh,
say that you never know who's watching because those
yeah.
who watch closely, they never comment, they never like, they're just kind of in the background and they just observe. And then as soon as you present something that speaks to them, they're all in. And I'm so glad you got to experience that because that was my biggest joy when I was launching my own bundles years ago, and even to this day, when somebody buys that have never been on my list, has doesn't even follow me on social media, doesn't even know anything about me, but they just saw the product and they're like, that sounds like a product I need. And I think one of the biggest lessons that everybody says from VBS is the mindset shift from providing services to selling products, right? It's a very different mindset.
Very, very different.
Yeah.
And we overthink it and we assume, like I'm an overthinker, hard to believe, but yeah, I'm an overthinker and I'm an overanalyzer too. So when I was doing all of this, and I'm very good at writing. Well, yeah, when you're in university, you have to be a good writer, but yeah, I'm pretty good at writing. And when I followed your scripts, I would model them and do my own. So it was just like I had like 10 people sign up. I was just like, what? No way. So it gave me a lot of excitement. And I was also serving my people the way they wanted me to serve, not the other way around. I had it a little backwards where I was assuming a lot too, even though I'm intuitive. Yeah, but low end offers are a different mindset, different, altogether different.
And also, intuitive doesn't always mean mind reading, right? It's like
Exactly.
you can be intuitive about what you want, but sometimes it's hard to read into what other people want unless they actually tell you.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a good lesson actually for everybody. Never assume what your audience would buy. Just ask them and give them the opportunity to be part of the process because that way they'll feel more involved as well.
Yeah.
So you did 100 plus sales, and then you did how many bundles on top? You had a 28
Yeah.
bumps.
Yeah.
You had
Yeah. I
28
did.
bumps. So you did over 128 sales
Yes.
ultimately. Over
Yes.
128 total sales. Did you have any upsells after that you offered to people after that process, to those people? Did you create a Facebook group or anything like that with them?
So I created a Facebook group and it was loading up pretty fast. People were wanting to get in and they wanted to know everything. I also I use Kajabi as my membership, and people were asking me about one-on-ones. So I had someone sign up. I made like, I forget how much, 6,000. So I did like, yeah, I created a new
Oh
program.
wow.
Yeah,
On
I created a
top,
new,
six
yep,
thousand dollars.
yep, yep. And my soul readings were blowing up. People reached out to me to interview me, and they were asking me, how did you do what you do? And I said, well, I followed a system and I did something different. And I like something different. And I said, well, that's how it happened. And I really followed something that was proven. That was the key thing, proven. And I wanted that. And so, yeah, I had a lot of opportunities, media where they were looking at me seriously. And I really love that because I want to serve my community. That's what I want.
That's so fun. Let me ask you this. When you drop the bundle,
Yeah.
um, first of all, tell us a little bit about what was inside. Like, what did you put in there? Like, did you put spreadsheets, worksheets, audios? Like, what did you include in it? And what was the reaction of those customers when they got it for the first time?
Mind's blown. They're like, this is too much for only low, like, really? I'm like, yes, we're going to be interacting with you in like a Facebook group and a membership site. Like, oh, I can't believe this. Like, you should be tripling this, quadrupling the price. And I'm like, no, this is going to be at that price for now. And so what I had is audio meditations. I had a workbook, and I also had videos, a walkthrough too. Sorry about that. A walkthrough video, also on how to read cards and stuff like that, and clearing things. So I had a lot to do with that, and I just listened to them. What do you want? And I followed your system, and it really helped. It really helped. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody always says that getting that delivered to their customers and getting the feedback is one of the most fulfilling things. So I'm so glad you got to experience that.
Yeah.
Looking back at the whole process that you went through, what was the biggest thing? So you mentioned one thing you learned, which was to ask more for feedback. Was there anything else that you learned uh, about yourself or your business that really you're going to take forward with you that will be helpful for anybody watching?
Hmm. Well, I know when I followed your strategy, it narrowed my message. It narrowed my message to listen to my audience more, positioned myself as the go-to leading spiritual teacher. There's not many like me out there, so it really helped me with that. That was a huge epiphany, and I didn't realize I was hiding. I didn't realize that I was hiding a little bit because I've learned to just blend in, and this really helped me to be just all out there. And I don't know if I answered your question right, but I learned because I'm very techy too. I set up the tech, I added a whole bunch of things, and I hope that's your question.
Yeah, yeah, it does. I mean, this was your first ever product of this kind. So the learning curve must have been like, in comparison to someone who does this all the time, you must have been like, oh my God, I'm navigating so many new things and uh, doing business differently. And yeah,
Yeah. Oh, sorry,
no,
please.
no.
So yeah, I learned a lot. There's a learning curve for me for sure as a indigenous spiritual entrepreneur, and I had to. I'm already techie already. I'm pretty nerdy, so sorry about that, it's my dog. So I learned a lot, and also having the community really helped me a lot. So I had a lot of questions. I was up at 3 in the morning because I wanted to get it done. I was like, and sometimes I couldn't even see straight, but I really love a challenge. I really love this. This was very exciting for me, and I really enjoyed creating my creations. Like I really love creating. But you had the skeleton, and all I had to do was doop, 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 doop. And I was just like, oh, this is fun. And so yeah, I really enjoyed it. That's what I
I'm so glad.
You're
Um,
welcome.
so now,
Yeah.
now that you are, now that you've after the pre-sale, where do you see the bundle fitting in your business long term? How do you plan to use it, promote it? Just curious about your strategy for what you plan to do with it.
So I plan to put up the sales page. I have to do that. And then just expand. So I'm going to go to Facebook ads and bring in more people who need me. That's what I plan to do and just promote it. When I go on, I've been invited to podcasts. So I really promote it with people who are saying, so what do you have to promote? What do you
Yeah.
have to exchange? So I pretty much tell them, well, I have my bundle because of you, because of your system. And people are like, yeah, let's do it. Yeah. So that's pretty much my plans. And yeah, so that's pretty much it.
Final question for you.
Yeah.
Who would you recommend VBS for the most?
The most. My people. I really recommend, I know there's only one Indigenous person in your community. I recommend that you sign up with Katya. She's very kind. She's also very practical and grounded. People that are very spiritual too, that need more grounding, that need to have a system that works, that's proven, and people who are very curious about low-end offers that make this like a passive income to add to your practice in your business. That's what I highly recommend.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for your time, Trisha. I'm going to include your bundle once again in the description. So go check it out and download it because, who knows, maybe you get it at the best price as well. One of the things I teach all my students is their price should always go up, never down. So pay attention. And if you're curious about psychic abilities and channeling your intuition and all that stuff, even better. So thank you for your time. Thank you for implementing and for being such a good student. And thank you for delivering a great product to your customers as well. I'm so excited to see what you do over the next coming year and so. So very, very excited for you.
Thank you.